Good morning. It is only just gone 8 o'clock and we're leaving the house. Yes, you heard that right. Crazy. Amazing what Chessington will do to someone.
Welcome to another episode of Toby Stupid Vlog.
Okay, Chessington, get ready. It's happening.
That's 7 months. The one jumping around crazily. So I started on to this piece, taking out from walnuts to 13. That's why we don't get these cut with them.
They look like giant hamsters.
It's all a bit much, this is rattlesnake.
Jesus! Talk about camping!
There's a lot of minions around these parts. That's Ramesses, you've got to be completely stupid to go on that. So.
The colour actually comes from their diet of shrimps and prawns. Cool bird, eh? All of Acre's expedition vehicles are fitted with the very latest satellite technology, so we can keep track of the rock, or to use their scientific name, Camelopardalis. Did you know giraffes sleep for no more than 5 minutes at a time, and they've never been seen bathing either?
Obstruction ahead. Repeat. Possible obstruction ahead. Suggest you find alternative route. Over.
Following instructions and good matters of safety. All kidnappers brought into the
This is my kind of ride. Although I did score very well on the last ride. I like water rides. Yeah. Oh. Straight to a dragon. This is where it gets a little bit interesting.
Remember for the picture, what we do for the picture? I don't think I can let go.
Wow.
That one.
Arms and legs inside the boat at all times.
Yeah, well that makes sense. Oh, right on the back. That was bad. No smiling. So this is the bubble works. As you might imagine. This is awesome. Oh, wow. Roy turning. Out from Chessington, it's about 13.5 miles. We've done about 1.7 miles around the grounds. So this should be fun. So we're just, I don't know where we are technically. We've crossed the A3, we've crossed another main road, we've got past loads of garden centres, there's another one over here. And, well, I mean, we're 2 and a bit miles from Chessington. Travelling currently north towards Thames Ditton, maybe? That's one for Mr. Martin Bruce there, Butte hairdressers. Amazing. Anyway, so we've come through Long Ditton into Thames Ditton. Kind of feel like almost know where we are now. Heading towards the river. In fact, we're going to go down Summer Road East or Summer Road Thames Ditton. And then past Hampton Court Station and through Bushy Park. Here we are, Summer Road. Just approaching Hampton Court. We have done 4.3 miles, which means we have 9 to go. Dear. Little dance there. Excellent work. So this is Teddington. This is Waldegrave Road, and the time is much closer to 8 o'clock than it is 6 o'clock. The reason that we've been here for 2 hours is because just over there, walking along that bit of fencing there, we found a hamster. And we knocked on every single door along here, no answer initially. We went and tried to find the nearest vet, which is around the corner there. They're closed. And then when we rang the vets, they were less than helpful, basically said there's nothing they could do, goodbye. So then we rang the police non-emergency number, and they gave us the number for pest control, so that was thoroughly unhelpful. We knocked on the doors again. We found a guy suggested we ask in the shop. We asked in the shop. There's not a lot he could do, to be honest. No one seemed very willing to take him. No one seemed to know anything about him. And we finally got through to the RSPCA. They're the first helpful people, to be honest, in 2 hours. Humanity, you've scored some very, very bad points today. And anyway, so let's introduce you to Harry. Harry, say hello. He's found the corner, and that's much more interesting, isn't it, mate? Made it back home. It's about 10:15. Getting home wasn't that easy, to be honest. We've got a bus eventually, once we had enough Oyster cards. We got as far as Richmond, and Richmond Bridge was closed because some very helpful gentleman, I believe, was trying to throw himself off it. So then we had to wait around, and then the bus took a huge diversion and had to come all the way around. We made it back. But as you can see, our friend Harry here has had to come with us, because the friendly people at the RSPCA couldn't send anyone in time. So he's making full use of the council magazine, and this is his bed for the night. What an interesting start to a week. I felt mentally exhausted. We were in the end in Teddington for about 3 hours because the locals were almost all completely useless and unhelpful. The local vet, as I mentioned, in Teddington was terrible and unhelpful. And the police tried but couldn't give us anything useful, and only the RSPCA in the end gave us any useful details. That said, we had to ring them twice, and the first time they didn't mention that they might not be able to come out till tomorrow, which is not ideal. They're clearly understaffed. It took about 25 to 30 minutes to get through each time. And so they're the only people who get any karmic points. Plus, obviously, me and Crystal get at least 1 million karmic points for being helpful. And Bill's corner shop, he was a nice guy. So those are all the good guys. Everyone else in Teddington, you suck. So the lesson to this story, if there is one, is that if you find a stray animal, ring the RSPCA immediately. It's going to take a while to get through. Bear with them, and take it, if you can at all, home straight away. Because standing around waiting, not going to help. So there we go. That's today's lesson. Ring the RSPCA straight away with stray animals, and then take that animal, if at all possible, straight home, unless of course it's injured, in which case they'll try and rush it as an emergency. Hello, good morning. It's Monday. I have some very sad news, I'm afraid. Our little friend Harry, who we rescued from Teddington on Saturday evening, passed away last night, unfortunately. I don't think he was too well to begin with, and I think the shock of everything and what have you probably didn't help. But that's very sad because, we're taking him in. He'd been a temporary member of the family at least. And, it's just a bit upsetting, to be honest. And I don't know that I have much more to say on the subject other than the whole thing has been, not fun from start to end. It's not been an enjoyable experience, which is a real shame. And I'm just glad, he probably had one more day by us taking him in than if he didn't. The weather was atrocious yesterday and all the wild animals that were out and about in the streets of Teddington, foxes and cats and what have you. So that's a very sad end. And now we're going to get back to making this week much happier. So I know I promised that it was going to be much cheerier from here on out. But this week hasn't really panned out as I'd hoped, if I'm honest. There's still 3.5 days. I'm optimistic I can turn it around. But I found out this morning that Robin Williams, the actor, has died. And it appears at the moment to be suicide linked with a severe depression, which he's suffered from a very long time. And in my mind, it's very sad that in this day and age we still don't do enough to fight mental health illnesses like that. And someone like that who has an outward persona that's so happy and positive, it's obviously even more shocking for those that didn't know him to find out about how troubled he was, and it's very, very sad indeed. So that's today's bad news. From this point onwards, let's think positive thoughts. If you want to do something positive, then can I suggest the two things that I've discovered this week is make a donation to the RSPCA if you're very much a fan of animals and their welfare, and you feel that not enough's being done, which I certainly do now. And if you feel that you want to make a donation to help fight mental illness and what have you, then there's plenty of charities, both in the UK and the US. But a good place to start is probably someone like the Samaritans, or I think there's a US equivalent that help people who have got nowhere else to turn. So there we go. They can make a positive impact on the day. Actually, do you know what? To make your life a bit easier, if you do want to donate, I'm going to put a load of links in the description below that you can donate to, from the RSPCA to charities like Mind and the Samaritans, what have you, and obviously a charity that's very dear to my heart and why I'm doing the Shine Marathon, Cancer Research UK. So I know not everyone feels they're in a position where they can donate money out of their paycheck to a charitable organisation. So if you feel you can and you'd like to, then do. Otherwise, don't feel bad. There may come a time when you feel that you're able to. Just focus on that. Anyway, weather's lovely-ish, so let's go and see Kew Gardens for the first time in 3 weeks. What a beautiful place. It's been too long. 3 weeks is a long time not to be in Kew Gardens, especially for me. It is a whole 10 minutes walk from my front door though, so, it's having to make the commitment really. It's a nice way to spend Tuesday morning. Get the love back. And I've got a video to do this afternoon, which is a wedding DVD transfer. So I've left the computer doing the processing so that I can finish it off when I get back. And that is pretty much all I've got planned for this week, to be honest. Don't know what's going on Vauxhall wise. Mr. Bentley's on holiday, very selfishly. So when he returns, we'll know more. And find out what's going on going forwards, because there's a few things I'm shooting in September, October. And there's another radio documentary that I'm working on in late October. So it's the next 6 weeks that I need to fill with joy. I mean, if you want me to come along and film something, then you know where I am. I'm here. When you walk around Kew, you see a lot of people who obviously know the place or know the kind of thing, go to a lot of gardens and whatnot. There's plenty of those. But they also see a fair number of people who I would say don't like walking. And from that I mean, not that they're disabled or infirm, but that just clearly, you know, having to physically walk from one place to another is a chore. And because of that, they sort of deliberately wear clothing and shoes and what have you that are kind of slightly inappropriate or just ill thought out. And then it makes it even more difficult, and then they can like it even less. And I just feel real pity for them, and that's all I can say. I feel real pity for anyone who can't get pleasure from walking. And the more pleasure you can take from it, the more pleasure you can just take from life. So I've just finished up my film that I was using in Switzerland, but wanted to take a few more photos, so I didn't waste any. I brought them into Kew and took 3 or 4 today. Just come into the Goodson Glade. Don't forget the visitors book, as always, is here on the tree with a little owl on the back. Feel free to come in, leave a note. Just make sure that you seal it all up properly when you're done and put it back. Still my favourite little secret spot in Kew Gardens. Good afternoon. Started a bit mixed this morning, but it's a lovely day now. That's why I've got off the bus a bit early and decided to walk back. Although we do have to do a 6-mile walk tonight, and I've mapped our new route because we've done our other 6-mile walk a lot. In fact, we do it every Monday. Forgive the windiness. So I've just been into Richmond to pick up my watch. I think I mentioned when I showed you all those ridiculous watches last week that one of my watches was being repaired. And in fact, the absurdity of it was that I dropped it off in Richmond before we went on holiday, and it got sent off to Switzerland to be repaired. I then went off to Switzerland on holiday for a week, came back, and it still wasn't back. So my watch actually had a longer Swiss holiday than I did. But it's all now in perfect working order. Brand new strap that I actually bought years ago, and it has a new crown on it as well. And it seems to be working fine, which is good. There's a 12-month guarantee. But seeing as that's the watch I got when I was 21, I'm kind of keen to keep it working, even though I've now spent more on it than it's worth. But still, it's a nice watch. Welcome to Barnes, where we have just walked. This is our 6 mile tonight, into Barnes, and then we walk back through Sheen. Good morrow, weary traveller, and happy Friday. It's before 9 o'clock and I'm going to work. Where are you going, I hear you ask? Well, of course, I'm going to Vauxhall, where the streets are paved with tarmac. Why not? Would be my question. And what are you going to do about it? Anyway, so we'll get one day of Vauxhallness this week, and now this evening I should say, we're planning on going swimming. We didn't make it last Friday. Number of reasons. But as you know, I can't film in there because filming in a swimming pool is ridiculous, and you've seen swimming pools 1,000 times. So just know that I'm doing exercise and feel good about it for me. So that's what's happening later. Today, however, I will be editing videos of people talking about why their jobs are so great. Woo! Hello.
This is fun. It's like MSN.
That's not a very nice thing to say about Steve's work. Steve has bought adjective-laden food. It's got lots of added adjectives.
I've got deliciously rich and comforting, or tender and succulent, or creamy and succulent. So, do I want succulent or comforting?
Well, do you need comforting?
No.
I'll go succulent then.
Yeah, I like to succulent.
Mine's just go.